Fuss about with my coffee.
Yeah, I've got my cards all around me. I was just shuffling decks and
I love cards.
just playing with the cards,
Today. That would be great.
Yeah, I'll pull messages, cards, whatever. We'll just kind of go where we go. But yeah, I was just because I was saying, what should we speak? And they said, just have fun, just go where the conversation goes, because there's so much to talk about.
I like to do the conversation as well. We just go with the flow and talk about whatever
comes through. There's so many things going on anyway, and angles and energies and whatever.
Things have been getting very intense lately.
They absolutely have. And
Cherise here. Hi, Cherise. Welcome.
The need for grounding, definitely.
How's it going? Just grabbing the stage here.
See them?
Guys always tell me make sure that you burn some sage at the beginning of the podcast. Looky-loos. The low vibe ones anyway.
Okay.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, Elaine. Hi, Ariana. Hi, Lori. Hi, Dana. Nice to see you guys.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are.
Hi, Karen. Hi, Mariah. We have some echo.
Put my glasses on so I can actually see the comments. That's better.
We're getting echo now for some reason. I think. Oh, maybe it's gone now. I don't know. That was weird.
Yeah.
That happens a lot when we get some energetic interference too. Yeah. Maybe the guides are causing it today. They got too close.
Yeah. When I'm gonna do channeling, or I'm in that energy of like, let's bring messages through it. Sometimes it definitely alters the energetic, the connection. Yeah.
Do you have your Arcturian friends with you this morning?
Definitely, yes. We have the Arcturians
as well. We love our Arcturian friends. Do so much good for us
the angelic realm. We've got the golden dragons that I'm learning and training with at the moment. There's so many of them, so I'm kind of trying to. It's like meeting individual friends, but trying to get to know them bit by bit, and then also channeling them collectively. But there's so many different ones, and they do different things. So it's like it's a lot of energy. But yeah, they're very much here to. They've come in really to just give us a lot more groundedness and protection and strength. That's the energy that they like to bring when I'm channeling them. So yeah, it's an interesting time.
Yeah. We've already got some good questions coming in. Yeah. First of all, Helen wants to know how everybody's morning so far. It's going very well, Helen. Thank you. I hope your morning is going well. Yeah. Ariana wants to know if you do energy clearings as well.
I do. Yes. So I do. I've got different ways of doing it. So I've changed my ways of working. So what I do is I'll do a session. So I invite people to come into that session to do whatever it is that they feel. So for some people, we channel. For some people, it's activations, and for some people, it's energy clearing, and for some, it's a bit of all of it. Often, it's a bit of all of it. So that's a single session. But we also do like a self-study, a self-guided program where you can take yourself through very thorough clearings over 6 weeks. That's kind of how we like to sort of teach people how to go through it, and then you can do it for yourself. But I have actually got an event coming up on that. I forget the date because we're doing 2 a month at the moment on different subjects, but we have got one coming up on clearing, like a group session. So that's another way that you can just come in and just get a blitz and a clearing of your energy field, and just kind of start to know how to do it for yourself, because I think that's very important currently. Like, it's great to go to a practitioner, and sometimes you do need to go to somebody if you've got the big ones or the big stuff. Yeah, like often we do, right? But actually we all want to be having this awareness of how to clear ourselves and get very comfortable with that.
Self-clearing is one of the most important things you should do.
Yeah.
And it should be done daily.
Yes. In current times, I would say it's like brushing your teeth, getting that energetic protection in and strengthening. And it really shifts your frequency. When you do it, it's like you feel different, don't you? Like a year on in your life, you feel different. That's what I felt anyway.
I have a friend that she's a Reiki healer, and she's been incorporating that for her clients and for herself. Yeah. So every time in between clients, she's doing a self-clearing. And then she's also asking her guides to go through the protocol as she does the healing Reiki on people and her clients. can feel the difference. And I mean, it's one of the most important things you can do in regards to being a healer is making sure that it's like washing your hands in between clients as a doctor, it's that important.
It's like you have to, like, you wouldn't dream of doing it. And I think we're moving into this energy now where we're all starting to become a lot more aware than we were 5 years ago. So we're having these conversations about energy clearings much more than we were before. So yeah, there's a lot going on. So if anyone's feeling a bit wobbly or a bit exhausted or emotional or on a bit of a roller coaster or on top of the world, like whatever you're feeling is very normal, because there's so many different ways right now, I think, that people are feeling, and everything's coming up to the surface, right? So you might just be feeling, if I just kind of want to share, it's coming through to share, if anyone's feeling really like heavy or just so far from high frequency, know that is all part of the ascension. Like, don't judge yourself for it, where you think, oh God, how am I back to square one, and how am I feeling this rubbish, and I'm supposed to be a healer or a
vibration keeps going up, the world is going to start feeling denser and heavier because your vibration is shifting. So even though you're going up, the rest of the world, the pressure is still coming down.
Yeah. And when you're going up, you also feel that lower frequency even more. So you can start to get this really big contrast. So there's so much going on. So it's just a message there, just not to judge yourself for any part of where you are right now.
Collective. A lot of people are not only they're like, I don't know why I feel this way. And it's like, you're feeling the collective too. It's not just you. You're feeling the rest of us that are feeling like, some of these days have been a little intense, especially because we're in between two very powerful eclipses. And that isn't helping the energies either, for sure.
Yeah, that isn't. I never know. I'm not really I'm not an expert on astrology, but I definitely feel when there's some intensity. And we are right in the middle of this period, right? So it's everything's really being amplified. And so it's not always feeling easy, but you can also feel like a bit crazy, because one minute you might be feeling really connected, like magical up here, and then the next day you might not hold that, and then you sort of come back down again, and you've got to integrate. So it's just a bit of a wobbly time, I'd say, for every human going through this. And
there's also been some timeline shifts, I've been told. Last night I was chatting with a friend, and she said, we're in between a very big timeline shift. So it may feel a bit like, ungrounded, that dizzy feeling, that feeling like you're very wobbly. But also headaches may come through. You may feel a bit nauseous. People may start acting a bit insane. So,
like all the time. And there's a lot of things like coming up around timelines. So this is why I think grounding is the most important thing, because some of you might feel this, where we're getting memories now of things from other timelines, but sometimes it's memories of things from a future timeline. So it can feel a little bit like, why am I remembering a time when this happened in the past? But it's actually not quite happened, or it's not at that point yet. So so obviously the people that don't know anything about ascension, what I just said sounds completely insane, but obviously those of us here who understand this, there is a lot of like bouncing between timelines. A lot of people are waking up knowing things that they didn't know when they went to sleep. You just suddenly have information about stuff, or you can just see very clearly about something. A lot of this is instantaneous for some people. So it's quite, it's definitely not boring. It's definitely not a boring period. That's for sure. No one at the moment's going, oh, I'm so bored. It's very, what's the word? Like,
whiplash.
Yeah. There you go. I think Donna says understatement in big capital letters.
And we're all going through a lot of us are going through powerful shifts in regard to profession or family or friendships. And, there's a lot of people stepping outside of their comfort zone, which is really great to see. And they're kind of like embracing some of the new opportunities that are coming in as these timelines shift. But I've also noticed there's some people that are really like tuning back to themselves. They're going internal. They're It's one
Yeah.
of the best things you can do right now, really, with everything going crazy.
Yeah, I've been I like to observe on Facebook. So when I scroll through, like I scroll through like intentionally, and I like to connect with people that are all at different levels and doing different things. So it's not just the same, you know. And what I've
Yes.
been observing a lot is it really, really lifts me up. I see people who maybe I've known for a while on Facebook, and they're starting to come out and they're speaking more energetically now. So there's like this shift, and some people don't even realize that they maybe are earth seeds or star seeds, or they're here to assist, but they're just starting to kind of shift. And I'm seeing that a lot, and I get so excited when I see someone who maybe was very in their heads, now suddenly their messaging is, you know, it could be they're teaching their clients in business, and now they're starting to get into the energetics and they're starting to pull them. There's so much shifting happening. So if you start to look for evidence, you know, you can start to really see there's a real shift happening. Like, we're not imagining this, and it's very, very it's apparent now, and it's going to get stronger, you know, it really is. Yeah.
Yes. And a lot of people have things that are rising to the surface. It's not
Yeah.
even just for themselves, but for their families, for their ancestry. Um, I do have a lot that I've noticed in regards to breakups in families and in
Mm-hmm.
partnerships. There's a lot of
Yeah.
people kind of moving their own separate ways and drawing a line in the sand and being
Yeah.
like, I'm changing. If you're not ready to, that's okay, but I'm moving forward.
Yeah, I've just got given the term rapid acceleration is what's happening. Rapid acceleration. So, you know, for a few years it felt a bit stuck. You know, we were seeing things that other people didn't see, and it felt quite slow. But what's happened this year, and actually the Arcturians gave me that earlier this year, they said 2025 would be another year, a bit like 2020, where we had a lot of people suddenly shifting and moving very fast. So we're having a lot of, yeah, as you said, like relationship changes, friendships, work. People are kind of yanking themselves out of old trajectories, and yeah, it's like rapid acceleration, they're saying. And they're saying this is set to continue in 2026. So 2026 is going to be another big surprise, another big year where it's going to sort of intensify, you know. And it's better to know that, I feel, not to, of course we're not going into any fear here, but better to know that so that we can equip ourselves, right? Because if you know there's intensity coming and chaos, you're not going to be shocked. I think we've got to avoid the shock nature if we can, as far as we can. So if we kind of make peace with, there is going to be chaos and there is going to be uncertainty, things are going to get really messy. We know that already. So let's just make peace with that. And
we had a great question pop up. Hello, David. Good morning. David asks, what is the point of starseed people that everybody keeps talking
oh,
about? What are starseeds and what are they supposed to do?
yay, let's talk about starseeds. So starseeds,
It's a great question.
different definitions, right? So starseeds is, I always describe it as, if we come from the premise that we know that we've had other lifetimes, like, you know, we've been incarnated back into the system, right? So we've had, this isn't our only lifetime. If you're coming at this from, you only believe that you have this one life, this one human life, this conversation around starseeds is going to be quite a stretch, but you know, that's okay. But so we understand that we've had many lifetimes and we drop back in and have another life, and we have more lessons. So starseeds is really just about our soul hasn't just had incarnations as a human. Our soul has had incarnations from all over the place, other star systems, other planets, other places. So really, a lot of us then, what we know about ourselves is that we originate from, well, we all originate from source, but we have had many, many lifetimes and experiences in other realms, so that
The
when we
planets,
drop,
the dimensions,
well,
yeah.
yeah, all of that. So we decided, hey, Earth is going through a massive evolution. Wow, they are really, really changing. Why don't we drop
Oh, I
in?
got a heart flutter when you said that.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
feel it, right?
Cool.
And as we're speaking, we are, like, it is activating because we're just remembering. We all know this. So we were like, oh, Earth's going through a massive evolutionary shift. I think I'm going to go down and join it because I have so much love inside of me. I have so much experience, wisdom, training. I've seen this happen in other places. Let me go down to Earth and assist. So a whole bunch of souls decided to drop down on, this is my favorite bit, on the same timeline, in the same era, all at once. And then we decided that when all of this shit unfolds and craziness comes in, the dark starts to rear up and starts to control, we're going to come down in and be very physically present in a body so that we can help do lots of different things. So all starseeds have come in to bring in light, hold light, but we're all doing it in all our different ways. So some of us are like, we're live streaming, we're both here and we're very kind of outwards, right? We're sharing
helping
things outwards.
People heal, helping people find their truth. Some people are helping learn your galactic history or your soul history. And others are here just to hold the light, just to be a high vibe, high frequency person.
Exactly. And important thing about starseeds, which I'm loving as I'm discovering this over the years, is like they are in every single industry. So starseeds are not just in the spiritual community. Starseeds are in hospitals, they're in politics, they're in technological companies.
My little starseed, my little 9-year-old starseed wants to save penguins.
There you go. And I love penguins. I absolutely love penguins. Yeah, like we all have, there's so many things to do on this planet. It's like you can take your pick really as to why you're here. So starseeds are here, and what they're doing is, because there's so many of us, we're basically shifting the timeline into a higher frequency. So this is what I'm always told by my team, is that they always repeat this. They say there's never been a time when so many starseeds came in all at once onto this timeline. So no matter what stuff's unraveling, there's so many of us, we are going to just naturally opt out of certain things. We're not going to live in a certain way. So we are, even if we don't feel it where you are in the world, you might be very isolated. We are shifting the entire timeline like this into a higher trajectory. It's inevitable. It's just how long it's going to take depends on the collective. The way that we're going to get there could be loads of different ways, depends on the collective, right?
Certainly true.
Yeah. Well, we are going to do it.
Summer's getting full body chills. Summer, I wonder why.
Because you're recognizing
it's important also to mention, though, that there are different types of starseeds. Not everybody, you come from different races, you come from different frequencies, different dimensions, different timelines, and all kinds of interesting histories. But then you have what we call veteran starseeds, which I am a veteran. I have been here I'm not one of the new souls that have chosen to come and help Earth. I'm one of the old souls that have been here since Atlantis. There were a lot of starseeds in here in Atlantis, people who are also choosing to incarnate in physical, human bodies here on Earth back then too. So some of us have, been starseeds kind of holding the light here for a very long time as well. And they're quite different to the new starseeds that are coming in, the reinforcements, as I call it.
Yeah, because the newer starseeds, they don't have like a history here. No, so they'll relate to this is why we need all types, right? Because they'll relate to the world. They won't be, I'd say they're maybe not as programmed in a way that some of us might be, because we've lived through a lot of ways of being here. So we're all doing really different things. So there's room for all of us. So if anyone sometimes we have doubts of going, oh, am I on my mission? Am I really making a difference? I'm not really doing anything. You really are, because there's so many different levels of starseeds, types of starseeds, right? We're all holding different frequencies and codes and information and light, and we can't do it without each other. So that's why we can get rid of this competition thing, right? Like, get rid of this competition thing or comparing yourself to other starseeds or other people, because we're all on the same team. We really are. Like there aren't, we could do with more people, doing this. So I love to just remind people.
So I feel, with veterans like myself, we kind of feel in between, because you have Earth seeds. Earth seeds are people that have lived most of their incarnations here on Earth. So they've been here for tens of thousands of years, most of them, and having Earth experiences. And then you have the veterans who have been here about 12,000 years, sometimes even less. Some are only here a couple thousand years if they've been here since Egypt. I saw a guy the other day who's been here 2,000 years, and he was here since the Viking Pleiadians came here. So there's different levels of understanding and experience in regards to souls and that have come here. And we've noticed that new starseeds tend to struggle financially because they don't really think how money works. Like, money is a big struggle for a lot of new starseeds. because money doesn't exist on other planets. All of the whole financial Gestapo thing that they have going on is strictly really for Earth. So a lot of new starseeds will come in not really understanding the importance of money. Some of them I've also noticed will also not make contracts for partners. Where they're like, I'm going to come in, I'm not going to have a husband, I'm not going to have children, I'm just going to come in and help. And then when they come in and their families are like, well, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have kids? And they add all this pressure onto the starseed. And they're like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. And then some of them are feeling a bit like, woe is me. I'm so lonely. I'm so misunderstood. I don't have a counterpart. And it's because they didn't plan for one. They didn't want, the distraction of one.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's that, that idea of like, we all should be finding our one. Well, that's like a very 3D idea anyway, because again, as you said, like we have different missions, and some people have very much come in to meet with that person and build a mission or create whatever it is they're here to create. But it's, again, it's like dropping these ways. Like there is no one way. There is no one way. We literally are just making it up according to our mission and our soul. And there's a lot of, I think, breaking away from old paradigms, right, happening on every subject, like relationships, health, money, everything, like the whole shebang, so it's
and many of them, their job isn't really to do anything. They're just here to hold the light, hold the frequency, be a high vibe person in a world of low vibe drama. So they have to kind of remove themselves. So the funny thing is, I remember we did a hypnosis session one time, and we found a new starseed that was under hypnosis, and we're talking with them about where they came from. I forget what planet they were from, but they were discussing things under hypnosis and saying like, what is her life purpose? Why is she here? And that's exactly what the soul said, what the higher self said. She's here to bring in the light. She's here to raise the vibe of everyone around her. And I said, well, that doesn't sound too challenging. I mean, that's an easy job. And the higher self laughed, and it goes, yeah, for somebody who doesn't like people, it's a challenge. She always wants to be alone. She always kind of closes herself off and shuts away the rest of the world. So that's the opposite of what she's here to do, though.
Yeah, it's so interesting because that reminds me of, I had a client where we did like a starseed activations where someone will come in. We just want to know like, why am I here and what am I connected with? And this particular client, he because he said he hadn't really. Oh no, it was two. I'm thinking of two clients, but I'll talk about one. He hadn't really experienced like much in terms of like the spirituality side. And he wasn't really involved in that. He was just like living his life, and nothing was really going on, and he was just a bit confused by it. And then they explained to him that you are a starseed, and that you are anchoring the energy and the light. And this is a message I've channeled so many times, is like your very presence. We don't realize the presence on the planet. You just physically being here, breathing and existing, you're doing a whole bunch of stuff with your energy. And then this person had no idea, because they were just looking out for like their role and comparing themselves to others. And the message was, no, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all that you've been doing. Because sometimes when we have just like maybe we're just creating a life with a family, and maybe it's not, doing the outward stuff. It's doesn't look that way. And we're just cooking and we're being healthy and we're trying to love our families. It's like that is a mission for some people for so many reasons. So that's why missions do not look.
Being on Earth is a mission. It's a challenge. To have an Earth experience, to be really human is a challenge. There's a lot of people that, like, when we tune into their guides, they were like, well, I tried to tell you. Like, they were like, you were so gung-ho about going down there. I mean, we did try to tell you it wouldn't be easy. Like,
I know that like there's memes and jokes about this where you've got like people choosing their soul contract, and then the soul guides are trying to say, are you sure you want that lesson and that lesson? And then we pile it on. That's actually a real thing. Sometimes we just get very enthusiastic as souls, and we want to go in and we just throw in these life lessons. And a lot of us, maybe we're a little enthusiastic and we put quite a lot.
That's an understatement for some of us, because some of us take on so much stuff. We're like a triple college major, and then you don't realize that each one of those majors is like a full-time job. So you've burned yourself out by 25, and you're exhausted and you're like, oh my God, what am I going to do? And you've got so much pressure and so much stuff that you've stacked up for yourself. This is especially true for the veterans like myself, because many of us on our last life here, where we get to go home, because this is the, as the precipice of the shift intensifies, we're able to go back to our home worlds for the first time in thousands of years. And so we're trying to get rid of all the baggage. We're just shoving all the baggage everywhere we can to get rid of it, because you can't take it with you, and you can't leave if you refuse to release it.
Yeah, true. And just to add in a little layer, may not be the good news for everybody, but it's sometimes on a soul level, we will choose to come back and do the timeline again. And and not to say everyone has to do that. So don't panic if you're right. You may not have to do this, but sometimes, because our soul has a different opinion, right? When we're not in the physical, but sometimes, and I know this because under hypnosis, I've tapped into, I recognize parts of this lifetime. I'm pretty sure this has happened before. And they said to me, yes, because remember, it isn't linear, right? Past, present, future. So what we think is present and future and past isn't quite that way. So you can revisit timelines and parts of the lifetime, maybe to do it over, or to do it in a slightly different way, or from a different perspective. So it's really it's quite interesting.
Think of it like a roller coaster, right? As you get off the roller coaster, some people have just thrown up and they feel sick and they're like, I'll never do that again. And others are getting off and they're getting right back in line going, that was great, let's do it again. I am one of the people that's getting off. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I can't take it anymore. But there's other people that feel invigorated by the ride, and they feel like, woohoo, let's do it again. Please, and by all means, go for it.
It's fine, and there's space for all of it. So it's just, I think, again, the message that they often bring through is just, in a way, as intense as it is not to actually take it as seriously, which sounds such a contradiction when we look at what's going on in certain areas. But it's like, actually, if we understand, they always say zoom out and just see that there's timelines, trajectories, different versions, all of this stuff playing out. You can see all these lines, and the earth is ascending and moving. It's happening. So we don't really need to worry and stress the way that we feel that we do, not to bypass emotions, but like Arcturians and angelics are not looking down on us and going, we're very concerned about humanity. They're not. They feel, they feel for us because they know that we're going through stuff, but they don't worry about us.
Maybe in the 40s, when they were looking at how many nukes we were detonating, they were a bit like, okay.
Yeah, there was like, oh,
we need to get down there and do something about this.
Interesting choices, right? Interesting choices. But yeah, they don't have that, like, it's the human thing where we worry and we stress and we take the burden on our shoulders, and we really don't need to do that, even though we feel sometimes that we do. And I'm reminding myself of that. It's like, it's not my responsibility. I'm just here to bring in what I'm here to bring in, right? That's it.
That's our role. We're just here to do what we came, and what we decided. And honestly, I feel like we've already made waves that we aren't even aware of. Like there's so many changes that are happening on this planet due to starseeds. And it kind of cracks me up, because there's a status quo. There's a cabal, basically, that has been running this planet for thousands of years, controlling the banking institutions, controlling the religious organizations, controlling basically just governments in general, that are trying to kind of keep the boot on the neck of humanity, to keep us down and subservient to them. But honestly, I feel like this is one of the biggest things that we are deciding to change as a collective, where we just say, no, we're done. We're not playing this game anymore. We've had enough.
Yeah. And also, we've got to remember that we forget sometimes there are new souls coming in all the time. So all these new generations that are coming in underneath us, they're going to be, they're coming into a different frequency already. So babies that are being born now, they're coming into a different frequency that we were not born into. So they're going to have a different experience. And these, star seeds and earth seeds and others, they're going to bring in their own consciousness. So we are going to shift. It's going to take some time, but we've got to remember that there are generations behind us coming up, because sometimes we feel like it's on us, it's like, we don't see, it's like a lot of the generations now, we're passing the torch as well. So it's like, again, the message is take the pressure off. if you take the pressure off, they're saying, the Arcturians are coming in with a bit of humor. If you take the pressure off, they're saying, you can have a much better time. You can enjoy it a lot more, because some of you, they're saying, are not to say you have to have fun all the time in this climate, but a lot of you are not allowing yourselves to enjoy the show that you actually booked tickets
for. We're so focused on it. We're focused on the horrors rather than the good things that are happening.
Yeah, exactly. There's so many amazing things. A lot
of the bad stuff happens because you got to do away with the old to bring in the new.
Yes.
And sometimes bad things have to happen for people to be like, okay, enough is enough. We have to do something about this.
Yeah. And, the reason we're seeing all this dark coming up is, this is so important to remember, it's because the light is on. If the light wasn't coming in as much, all the dark stuff stays in the corner and it's hidden the way it's been for God knows how many years. So what's happening is we're coming in with a torch and of candles lit up everywhere, and suddenly we're seeing all the murky corners. So when you see the stuff rising up, know that the only reason it's coming up is because there's more light. And if you remember that, you can start to look at all this crap and go, oh, hello, there you are. And we don't need to go into panic then, going, this world is going down the tubes. It isn't. It's just we've got to see all the stuff that's there, and that's why we're here. That's what we're doing. And it's not pleasant, but wouldn't you rather know than not know?
One of the biggest misconceptions about the 5D shift and this frequency shift, this change that the Earth is going through, is that everything's going to get easier as we raise in frequency. A lot of people are like, we're going up in vibration. Shouldn't everything be getting happier? And shouldn't things be more light? But I'm like, no, it's getting heavier and darker and denser because that stuff is coming. It's being pulled out of the closet, so to speak.
Yeah, that's such an important thing to remember, because that's when people go into shock and they start to go into doubt and denial around, and they start to go, I don't even believe in the ascension process at all, because look at the state of the world. But it's exactly that. It's exactly that. You if you switch a light on in a room, in a dark building, you're going to suddenly see the floor.
You see all the roaches scattering is what you're going to see. That's what we're dealing with right now, is we're chasing the roaches.
Yeah. And then we're looking at the roaches going, oh my God. It's like, no, it's all the lights on. The lights on.
They were already here. You just didn't know they were here until the light came on.
Yeah.
It's a good analogy. And I like what Rachel just said, the purge before the merge. Yes. Rachel.
Yes.
Like that. We're releasing.
Yeah.
It's like cleaning out the pipes. As soon as you open up the pipes, what do you see? All the shit that's supposed to flush out and get out of there, and then everything will start flowing properly.
Yeah. So what the team's coming in now is actually just encourage you on that, is to actually allow yourself, when it looks dark out there and heavy, allow yourself to actually tap into the beautiful, brilliant future. Because sometimes out of guilt, humans are holding guilt, and they think, oh, because things are looking bad for certain people, you feel guilty around holding beautiful visions and getting excited about the future and anchoring that future in. And they want to remind you, whoever receives this, is to know that when you hold that vision and you bring in the stuff that's inside of you, and you're excited and you can see it and you can imagine it, you're massively assisting the consciousness, the whole thing. And actually, it's very important that we continue to do that, right? Not again, it's focus. It's where are you focused? Are you focusing on, oh, this has been said and this has been done, versus looking over there about where you want to create. But it's not. So what some people will call that spiritual bypassing, and it's not what they mean. What they're saying is that you can still have the emotions, you can still feel stuff, but it's not spiritual bypassing to actually go, I see the darkness and I'm going to hold the light, and I'm going to bring in that vision, and I know where we're going, and I understand that we're going to go into a place of healing and beautiful technologies, proper ones, beautiful food productions, real education, growth, all of the good stuff, right? So it's really, really important to hold that. And it's not, because there's a little sneaky thing that's calling that spiritual bypassing. It isn't. It's not. That's not what spiritual bypassing is.
I've had a couple people say that. I shared a meme the other day. It was something like, keep walking the path of light or something like that. And people are like, well, the darkness is important too. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not supposed to dwell on it. You don't live there. Don't make a house in the darkness.
Yeah. You're being aware of it.
You're transmute it, clear it out, release it.
Yeah,
Don't
if you're going
dwell
on
on it and be like, oh, woe is me. I'm so, blah, blah, blah. That's what happens. A lot of us will end up kind of tripping, and then we find ourselves in the darkness and we're like, oh shit, what do I do now? Well, you have to transmute it. You clear it out. You end up recognizing the things that are holding you in that space.
Yeah.
Release those things. You can do it through talk therapy, through working with a healer, through even just writing and journaling. It helps you to release it because it's no longer trapping itself, because emotions will get trapped in the organs. Even they'll get trapped all over the body, and then you're holding it down, and then you feel weighted down by it, and you don't even know why, and then you just have all this pressure on you. This is what Dark Night of the Soul is all about, and there's a lot of people going through that.
Exactly. I think somebody just asked Leanne asked what is spiritual bypassing then? Yeah, so spiritual bypassing would be, let's say in the spiritual communities where we want to anchor in more light, and some teachings would say, okay, so if something terrible happens to you, let's say you lose a loved one, right? The ultimate thing, you lose a loved one and you're in grief and you're feeling it. Spiritual bypassing would say you need to go straight into love and light, and understand that that person has not left you. They're just gone into the other realm, and they're always around you. And it's like, that's true, yes, but the spiritual bypassing bit is you're not allowing that person to actually have their emotions. You're taking the spiritual concepts, which are correct, but you're applying them very quickly, and you're bypassing the whole process, right?
It's kind of like telling children, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. It's like telling them, pull up your britches and stop complaining, that kind of thing. People, you have to feel things out and release it. But a lot of people have been trained to kind of bottle it up and keep going.
Yeah. But where it's confusing.
They're especially not able to talk about their emotions without feeling uncomfortable for that reason.
Yeah, exactly. Where it gets confusing is where, it's like we make true spiritual concepts into spiritual bypassing. Because you know what I've seen recently? I've seen this thing online. I've noticed it the last few weeks where people are taking this phrase love and light and using it as if, oh, I'm not trying to be love and light here, but I'm saying da da da. And it's like, hang on, when did love and light become a bad thing? But what's happened with love and light, and I've seen it, what people have done is love, we all know love is good and light is good, right? Love and light is a very real energy, but it was taken and sort of
it's turned into a new version of bless your heart, as we say in the South.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah,
bless your heart, and you're like, you didn't mean that in a nice way, did you?
It's like a sarcasm with it. And it's like, oh, I don't know if I feel that.
But there's a reason for that, though. Is a lot of people. It's like, for example, right, when something bad happens and somebody wants to be a twat about it, they'll say something like, "Sending thoughts and prayers,"
Yeah,
and they'll be like, thoughts and prayers sent your way, like it's nothing, but thoughts and prayers are actually really powerful and a beautiful thing to do. And that's, if a whole collective was sending thoughts and prayers, you have no idea how much power you're putting into that.
Exactly. So it's not the term, it's the energy behind it. So when people go, oh, I'm not trying to be love and light about it, it's like, yeah, love and light with a dismissive energy, bypassing actual pain and grief and sadness and real human emotion is not helpful. But the pure essence of love and light, which I'm almost stopping myself saying sometimes because I don't want it to sound that way, but love and like light and love, let's call it. I'm just going to flip it around. Okay. Light and love is a very good energy, a very high frequency energy, and it's beautiful. So we don't want to chuck that out. But I'm starting to see people throw that away as if it's like, no, just be careful of that, because that's a little deception, isn't it? Coming in to take people away from that energy. Yeah, because that's a sneaky one. It's a sneaky little deception, I think. Yeah.
Well, we can't even say good morning anymore, because apparently good morning means like you're in mourning.
Yeah. Grand rising.
Right, but it's just, I mean, it's deeply ingrained. I've been saying it every day since I was born, pretty much since I could speak. So it's one of those things very challenging to relearn how, but the English language is such a bugger with these things, right? Because we are trying to say a certain thing, but we say the opposite thing as we're using the language.
Yeah, yeah. But it's the same as swearing, isn't it? Like, you can say the F word, right? And you can say it in a very aggressive, very confrontational way, and you can feel the energy and it's very unpleasant. Or you can say it in a very light way and it's very, very funny. or it's very light. So it's not the words, it's the energy, right? The energy with, we're getting very judgy about the wording, I think, at the moment. I'm seeing that. Like which words you shouldn't use.
I asked the soul guides last night. I was chit-chatting with Bradley and his Salation soul guide Sam just about some things in the way that we use language, and he said one of the most underrated, most unused, utilized things that you could do every day, which would be a complete game changer if you were to do it every day, is to use I am properly.
Oh, properly, like in what sense?
Yes.
Sort of.
Yes. Like to say things like I am strong, I am confident, I am intelligent, I am loved. Because people say things like I am broke all the time, or they'll say things like, oh, I'm stupid, I shouldn't have done that, or oh man, like I'm exhausted. So if you say things like that, you're making declarations and you're making it so even stronger.
It's like we humans tend to describe their less desired states and they speak about them more. But if they're feeling happy, they just don't say it. They'll just feel it. But they won't go,
exactly. They don't say things like, I'm happy, I'm feeling young today. They see things like I'm feeling old today because I'm feeling blah, blah, blah. They don't say the positive things. You're right. They make complaints by declaring things about themselves. And that is a huge form of self-sabotage.
Yeah. Adriana's saying doing those daily with EFT tapping. Yeah, that's a really great way of doing that. I love EFT and tapping in statements. I am loved, I am happy, I am whatever's true for you, and it's just, and what that does is it sends that signal to your whole nervous system and actually tells you you're safe, and you kind of embody that more, and it's a beautiful way. You can write it out as well, but I really like tapping. It's a great way.
Isn't it funny though that we say things like I am this, I am that, and in most cases we say things as a negative, and that is one of the worst things you can do. So I've been trying to, when I catch myself doing things, like I was making my coffee and I was like, I am confident because I'm making my coffee.
Sometimes you need that little boost, right?
Like, especially if you're dealing with imposter syndrome, like I am. This is one of the ways that we can kind of heal and readdress some of our issues, but doing it in a way that is, it's like restructuring mentally.
If anyone's like struggling with that, because sometimes if you haven't spoken nicely to yourself, saying I'm confident, I am powerful, or whatever, it can feel very, like, I remember when I first started this years ago, it felt very fake and uncomfortable, and it wasn't very nice. When you can,
especially if you say it in the mirror. If you do mirror work doing it at first, even worse.
You might not even make eye contact with yourself. You might that was me years ago, and I had like all this like hatred for myself. I couldn't sit with that, right? And I can totally do that now. But if you can, what I like to do sometimes, I still do this every now and then, I'll just have a little whisper to myself, but I'll talk to myself and say, you are doing really well. You did a really good job yesterday. You can do this. All you need to do is just do this thing, and then you can make a drink and you can relax and just speak nicely to yourself. And if you do it from that, sometimes that's easier to take than I am. It's just another layer. And also what you might do is accidentally channel your higher self. That's what happens sometimes. If you start to speak to yourself as if you're a friend, that's a really good practice, because it actually, something will slip out and you'll go, oh, that's nice. Accidentally. It's coming from somewhere. That's a good one.
I love that.
Yes.
Kat says I am a fucking legend. Yes, you are, Kat.
There you go. And go as high as you can with that. Like, go all out and say, declare. Make declarations.
Go out somewhere in the middle of nowhere and just shout it at the top of your lungs. The more heart you put into it, the more emotion and intention you put into it, the stronger that feeling is. Because if you just say it, like going through the list, I'm strong, I'm confident, I'm this, I'm that, you don't feel it, you're not embodying it.
No, and you'll feel irritated. If you ever try to do like affirmations, and I've gone through that period as well, where I'm like, this is so fake, this is so fake. You may as well not do it, because it's just aggravating you. But if you can find little statements that you can get on board with, they don't have to be wildly positive. They can even be neutral to begin with, and then you can grow that, you can build that really nicely. But most people don't talk to themselves these days, because I channel.
I did a little bit too much, to be honest.
I'm the other way as well. I'll just talk to my wife.
Even in public, I don't give a shit. I'll have a full-blown conversation with myself in public.
Yeah. Yeah. Start with, for anyone that's sort of struggling with this, just start with saying good morning to yourself. That's kind of like transformational. Just wake up, and if you know, you can just say it to yourself. Hello, myself. Hello there. Welcome to the day.
It was just challenge enough to talk to my guides in the morning. I have to remember to be like, good morning, Charlie. Good morning, Fergus. You know, and be able to have like a conversation with them in the morning is still something I'm working on, because I forget that you get into your routine. And so there's a couple times a day where they're like, hello, like, you gonna say anything to us today? So it's I mean, absolutely talk to yourself, talk to your guides, talk to whoever you want out loud.
Yeah. In the shower, I find, is a really great time. It's sometimes people find that it flows easier because of the water. And you're in the shower, you know, you're not doing anything else. You're in the shower, and it's just a nice place. I do often like my clearings in there. I'll just, from the shower, I'll say hello, I'll call, like, connect in, call my higher self in, clear the house, clear myself. Like, I'll do everything from the shower. And it's a really easy place to do it. And then you kind of step out of the shower, and you just feel like you're on a new trajectory, which is great. And you can also play with that. Sometimes I like to play and say, when I get out of the shower, I'm going to step onto my highest timeline for the day. And I do. And sometimes I really feel like, wow, you know, like when you're a kid, you make up stuff. Like, you just go, oh, when my bike gets to this fence, I'm going to turn into a magical unicorn, right? You get really magical about it.
That's like a kid thing that I've done my whole life, and I still do that to this day. So that's funny you say that.
Yeah. So do that, and you can actually do that. And they want to remind us, okay, of the magical ability that we have. We stop doing this when we're children. If we start to bring that back, if you pretend something, it's as good as it can be real. You can shift timelines and step into energies just by saying that you will and feeling that you will. It's as good as done, right?
So one of the things you can do is, like, as you're stepping outside, like as you're opening a door, as you consider you consider your doorway to be like a portal. Just visualize yourself stepping through the portal and into somewhere like, I don't know, a rainbow shower that cleanses you, or taking you into a happy place that, you know, somewhere that's vibrant and colorful. That will help to boost your frequency throughout the day.
Yeah. It's like it's as real. They keep saying to me as well, the energy is as real as the physical. It's not second to the physical. It's the energetics is just as real as a physical thing that you can touch. And we're starting to move towards that. This is how life on this planet is going to be very different, because we're going to be so more energetically in tune, and then we're going to start living from that place. And this is how we create and lift the frequency. So it's talk about like breaking out of that 3D, I've got to believe it before I see it mentality. That'll have no place where we're going. It won't even be a thing anymore, which is great. I can't wait for that.
If you can see it in your mind's eye, you're manifesting it in the astral. And I constantly tell my students this, to be careful of what you visualize and what you see and what you give your attention to, because you can manifest things in the astral without even being aware of it. And entities can too.
Yeah.
So
they know the energies more than we do often. So they'll milk the energies because they know they're more in tune with that than we are. But now humans are catching up with that. Yeah.
So what about for people that have struggles with visualization? I have a couple people that come to me and they say, well, I want to do psychic protection, but I can't see anything in my mind's eye as you tell me these things.
Yeah. So visualization is just one. Well, we all visualize. It's just how do we do it? So often we think visualization is visual. So we've got to see it in our mind's eye or through our eyes. I don't always do it that way either. So some of us will have, so let's say we're talking about protection. So we'll typically say, like, if you visualize like a golden shield around you, let's say, right? So some people can see that golden shield very vividly and they can get a sense of it. Yeah. Okay. So you're very visual. Yeah. So
like right now, if you were to say, to see an apple in your mind's eye, and I close my eyes, and sometimes I can even see it when my eyes are open, and you can see a 3D shiny red apple in your head. But some people can't visualize the apple. So does it work if you say, instead of seeing it in your mind's eye, that you speak it into reality?
So when you say, Yeah. When we say see, like the way I say see, I don't actually mean physically see. Sometimes it is, but seeing can be, you can see things through knowing and feeling. Sometimes it's hearing, for some people, but it's like, let's say you want to call in a golden shield to protect yourself. I can't always see it depending on what it is. It's funny. I don't always see it as a thing. It's like, I know it's there. I'm
Can you
putting that
describe
shield
it
up.
and that would
Yeah,
work
and
just as well?
like I'll say, right, I'm going to put that golden shield up. I just know and feel and trust and expect because I've stated it. And I understand
Right.
how energy works. So when I say it, I know that if I state I'm putting a golden shield up, it is done. There's no, oh, is that working? Is that true? It's like, I understand energy. So when you understand energy, you know that if you're stating something, you're speaking it out and you're declaring and stating and intending, it is there. So it doesn't matter if you see it or not. It doesn't, it
Trust is
has
the biggest
no bearing.
factor, they say. The guides have told
Yeah.
me that many times. If you trust that you are shielded, then you are. If
You
you
are.
if you believe it, if you don't believe it, your shields will be lowered immediately.
Yeah. And sometimes it's, sure, maybe it's easier generally if we can see something to trust it because we're used to physical, tangible stuff. But it doesn't not matter. I've had loads of clients that don't visualize. Like, I've done hypnosis with people who don't, they get worried about, they don't visualize. I'm saying that's okay. Just feel it, know it, and see how it comes to you. It might be words. It might be you just get an idea of it. So it really doesn't matter. So never ever let that stop anyone. It's just it's understanding how you work with your energies because some of us are more visual than others. So I'm very clairsentient. More probably that's my lead way that I do it. Like I also like do other ways, but that's my biggest one. And I think because I just feel stuff like I'm putting up the shield or the protection, and I understand, and it is trust. It's trusting that because you've stated it, and also believing that you are supported. Not believing, actually, no, knowing that you're supported is a huge thing. But of course, because a lot of people have issues with lack of support and trust, that makes that difficult. So those will be the areas to heal and strengthen. Because a lot of us,
There are
might have
some
had
things that I've
experiences.
done for psychic protection. This is how I ended up building my trust because I threw validation a lot of the times. Like
Yeah,
I was visualizing for quite a while, like a turret in my house that shoots rock salt at anything that comes in,
love
right?
it.
And
Yeah,
and I also had like this other turret that would like zap things like a zapper, It's kind of
yeah,
like a bug zapper kind of thing. So
yeah,
I was visualizing it and I still do it on occasion, but I have other protections now that I do. So
yeah,
one day I actually heard a sound and I was like, I wonder what that was. And I said something to the guy and I was like, what was that sound? And they said, what? I said, it sounded like a whip crack, like a, And I
yeah,
was like, what was that? And they said, oh, that was your zapper going off. And I was like, I actually can hear it. Like, what? And they were like, yeah, you truly believe that you have it out there. So it's there and it's
yeah,
working because it just got something that tried to come in.
yeah.
And I was
It's
like,
that's
holy
exactly it.
shit.
Yeah. It's so real. It's like if we could physically see the things that we create, it would be really fun, It's just often we
Mhm.
can't see it. So you can just trust that that stuff is there, and it just is there, and know that you have this power. And this is what humanity is waking up to. It's like, it's not, this whole awakening process isn't oh, let's see through the government and understand the entities in control. No, it's actually, that's part of it, but it's actually realizing that to be human is to have these incredible powers that all along you never knew that you had, because you were programmed so much from birth to say that's all made up, that's for children. But when you're an adult, you're not allowed to do that. But it's
Anytime
just
a child tells you they have an imaginary friend, or
yeah.
if they tell you that they have a monster in the closet or under the bed, believe them.
Believe it. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
And know how
Because
to.
they're seeing something that you may not be able to see, but they have eyes that can see beyond
Yeah.
their frequencies. Their vibration is very high, but also they haven't had all of that belief kind
Yeah.
of ridiculed out of them yet. They tell you something and the parents are like, okay, yeah, like they don't like tell you it's bullshit because they want to respect your creativity and your imagination, right? But as you're an
Mm.
adult and you say something, the first thing they do is call bullshit on you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you feel afraid to share what you're feeling with others because people don't have that respect anymore for your creativity and your imagination.
Exactly. So that's why talking about it and actually bringing all of this out and making that like more acceptable, like we're all doing it, right? And we're all starting to live like this is so powerful, because we're going to bring, it's like bringing the energetic side back, like back from, the way we lived in Atlantis, which I've been connecting into a lot recently. It's like bringing this, we had this way of being. What we're actually not doing is creating this brand new way of being, where I see it as a restoration. We're restoring what we already had beautifully back then. In fact, what that looked like, what Atlantis looked like, if we were looking at it from here, is futuristic. It doesn't look ancient. What is ancient actually looks futuristic from where we are now. So it's,
I'm saying constantly, like we've done a dip, we're finally coming back up out of it.
Yeah. And we're going to reach that point. I see it as we're going to reach that point where we were, which is brilliant. And then some, and then we're going to even go further, and then we'll evolve from that. But we're going to get that established back. So this is why all the energetic side has to start coming in now, as not maybe what we were doing a few years ago. For some of us may have been more on the side. Even for me, it was more a big part of my life, but it was still on the side to the physical. And now I've sort of gone more into the energetics comes first. It's like the first thing, and then the physical life is around that, if that makes sense. So we're really shifting into that, because we're going to shift how we're living now, which I'm so excited about. It's going to feel much better. Yeah.
So you have, if you don't mind, just talking a little bit about the project that you're working on.
Yeah. So I'm obviously I still do like my one-to-one sessions and ways of working, but what we recently, me and my team, we've decided to set up a couple of times a month. We're doing Arcturian and angelic healing spaces. So it's just a Zoom group, so you can just come in whenever you want to do a session, this group session, and just be in like a healing or an activation space. So we've got different topics. We've just done a couple of weeks, or last week or a couple of weeks ago, we did the Arcturian and angelic healing place, where it's like we just take you into that frequency, and you can receive lots of healing and things for the body.
The
which is beautiful.
Arcturians are phenomenal healers. Arcturians and angelics are the best healers. In fact, they're the ones that we call in when we do psychic surgery healing on people. My guides will be like, I'm not clearing, I'm bringing in the Arcturians. They do the best in regards to healing.
Yeah, they're just really good at that, and they're very like, with all their love in their hearts, they just want to do it. So we've had that. So we've done that event, but that's available to purchase. So everything's on the website. But the one that's coming up on Monday is Starseed activations, which I'm really excited about. So I've never done it in a group space like this. I've always done like single sessions. So this is going to be, it's just a space that, and we haven't set it in any way. It's just, you could be a starseed who already feels activated, or you're not sure, whatever draws you to it. It's an activation space for starseeds. I don't know what we're going to channel through, because it's all channeled. So there's going to be messages, transmissions, and energy activations for starseeds. So whatever that involves. So that's going to be Monday. And if you can't make the time, you'll get the replay. And those are all $22 like
what
sessions.
Time on Monday?
It is 4 p.m. UK time. So that's 11
so 11. Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah. ET.
And how long is that one going to be?
And about 60 minutes to 75 minutes, because I can never stick to the exact. So it's between 60 to 75 minutes, depending. Yeah, so it's going to be on Zoom. So I'm really excited about that, because we're just I never know what we're going to bring in, but they like to lovingly shake you and get you tapped into what you're supposed to be tapped into, and receive the energy that you need right now. So yeah, Leanne, it's on the website. So it's theawakerevolution.com is my website
for you real quick.
Events, but there's a Linktree link somewhere. I think you posted it with all my links. But if you just can't find that, you can just go to theawakerevolution.com.
Got that as well. I'll drop that for everybody.
Events, and then we've got some other ones. So that's the Starseed activations. We've got the following one will be energy clearing and AI shielding, which is going to be great, because the Arcturians love to bring in Arcturian energy technology to help us shield up around all of this AI that's getting in everywhere, right? Just by using phones and being online. Like, I'm always having to just clear that out. So we're doing good old energy clearing as much as we can in that session, and AI shielding. We've got one coming up around money and abundance, because that's a real, we mentioned today, right? That's a real thing. We've got I forgot now, we've got a few all the way up to the end of the year. We've got different ones, and I cannot remember the rest of them. So we've just got these.
I will join you. I see it's $22 US. Here we go. I
all of them they're all $22. So
that's so very generous of you.
Yeah, just to make it.
We have the Siddhartha event on Monday, but I will come to both because I can. Because if yours is an hour, then I could be done with that one by the time Siddhartha begins. So I will do both. I'll get my activation and then I'll do a Siddhartha meditation. Love it.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's open to everyone. Yeah, so whoever wants to join, and we'll have a really good. And also, we're doing what they told me as well is whatever subject we're doing, we're going to do a blast and just clear the energy field as a standard thing now, because as you know, Lara, like with all the clearings you do as well, it's like a necessity now, right? We just need to be doing it.
Get all the monkeys off your back before you start,
So we have got one specifically on the energy clearing, which will obviously go in a bit more deeply. Every other subject will include, we're just going to blitz the energy because you're in the space, and we may as well. And as soon as they have you in the space, they want to they want to get in there and help you, because it's going to make this it's going to just make this ride easier and strengthen you up, right? And you're going to start to see things more clearly and receive guidance.
That is my goal right now. That's what I'm working on. Exactly that.
Yeah. Really be able to see, and there's always more to go. So they really, so I'm really excited about doing these events. And we're probably going to do some in 2026. I just don't know what yet. But I feel like we're going to continue with them because they're just fun. It's nice to have a group sort of thing as well. That's available. So there we go.
Perfect. Well, thank you so much. This was a fun conversation today. I loved it.
Yeah, because I asked them.
Set us up well with his Starseed question, because this was a fun conversation. Thank you, David, for your good questions, and thank you everybody for joining us. Because Marie is so much fun to talk to, and thank you for your Arcturian friends who are also, doing all this hard work to help us while we're down here, because it's exhausting. We need to refill our cup as often as possible.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what they want to, that's what they want to do. That's what the Arcturians and the angelic realm, the Arcturians are very vocal about, really wanting to just be friends. They're not trying to take over anyone's connection to their own higher self and guides, but they're just friends that just want to be here and support you all as much as possible. Yeah. So they're absolutely here. Yeah, to assist you. They love it.
Aww. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. This has been a fun conversation, and I will have Marie back, and we can discuss more about starseeds and healing next time. I would love that. Thank you, Marie.
You're very welcome. Thank you.
I hope you guys will join us on Monday. I'll definitely be there for that starseed activation. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you, Marie.
Welcome.
Love you guys. I hope you all have a fantastic day. I'll see you tomorrow for the solo chat. Bye, everyone. See you soon. Bye. Have a great day.